Welcome to Lair of the Alchemist, and on today's episode, I'm going to be reacting to the latest heavy metal news. I thought it might be fun for me to go to blabbermouth.net. For those who don't know, blabbermouth.net is a heavy metal news website that updates itself really regularly with the latest breaking heavy metal news. And so I thought it would be fun to just kind of react to it. Today's date is May 14th. I've been having all kinds of problems with my camera. I've had to restart this multiple times. Hopefully this works. I'm going to be reading it off of my phone. I don't know if it had something in my camera here lagging behind it. Blabbermouth has all these like pop-ups. It's very annoying when you go to their site. But okay, so some of these I have seen already because I had to restart this video. But John Five and Richie Kotzen announced tour. At first, I wasn't sure if they were playing together or if they were just touring together. And it looks like they're touring together. I really like John Five. I think he's a really interesting guitar player. He's one of these guys that can kind of shred like an 80s guy. But maybe because he came up in the 90s, he has that sort of quirky 90s style of guitar playing where he kind of makes noises and plays weird kind of lines and stuff like that. So I find him to be really fascinating. Richie Kotzen, I think he has a great voice. I don't really know what he does as a solo artist, but I might go to that to see John Five. And they are playing a lot of dates, and they are coming to Florida. Ronnie Romero on upcoming second Elegant Weapons album, quote, "It's going to sound like an evolution of the band," unquote. Ronnie Romero came onto my radar when he sang with the Rainbow Reunion, which unfortunately was not very good. No fault to Ronnie. I thought he sounded amazing. And now he has sang with a bunch of people. He's kind of like the guy now. You know, Ripper Owens is another guy that sings with a lot of singers. Matt Barlow sang with a bunch of people. Who else besides Ripper? Yeah, there's people, Matt's Levin, you know, they sing with a lot of different people, and Ronnie's one of those guys right now. And Elegant Weapons also has Richie Faulkner in it from guitar from Judas Priest, and I really like Richie's playing. I think he brings a lot to Judas Priest, and I really like his playing. Elegant Weapons, I have listened to them. Honestly, it didn't really grab me. I thought it was good, but I just never went back and revisited it. So maybe I should check it out again and revisit it, because I do really like Richie, and I think Ronnie does have a great voice. Ghost and Opeth's Frederick Akeson to honor Queen at this year's Polar Music Prize ceremony. I know the Polar Music Prize is like a Swedish music prize thing. That's kind of interesting. I wonder what they're going to play. It looks like it doesn't really say. But I guess that could be interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the same thing where Ghost got up with Candlemass and honored Metallica, and they did Enter Sandman. And I thought that was pretty cool because they kind of did their own take on it. So it might be cool to see what they do with that. Clutch to re-team with producer Gene Machine Freeman for next studio album. Clutch is a band I don't think I've ever talked about Clutch on this channel. I've seen them live a couple times. I really like Clutch, but I'm not super familiar with their catalog. They're one of these bands I need to do a deep dive on them. I'm really only familiar with the early stuff, like in the late 90s, early 2000s when I was really into Doom and Stoner. I remember getting into Clutch. They have that kind of stoner, but with a really heavy groove to them. So, yeah, maybe if they come out with something new, it's time for me to check that out, because they seem to be pretty consistent when I do open them up on Apple Music or something and sort of jump around. Their stuff seems to be pretty consistently good. So, Sabaton shares behind-the-scenes footage from making of Templar's music video. Gotta admit, I'm not a Sabaton fan. I've seen them live a bunch of times because it seemed like for a couple years, every show I went to, they were the opening band. It was really crazy. They've been on the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise that me and my wife have been on a bunch of times. I just don't like them. I mean, they're very good at what they do. They're very entertaining. They have a good following. I totally respect them for sort of carving out their thing. They're very good live too. They have a lot of energy. They get the crowd into it. But just a whole, like, I'm not a huge fan of power metal, and I don't even know if Sabaton would be considered a straight up power metal band. But I don't know. They just don't resonate with me. I tend to not like their choruses, and it's just a little, I sort of joke that I call them happy battle metal, which just doesn't sort of work for me. Iced Earth members Matt Barlow and Freddie Vidales announced fourth Ashes of Ares album, New Messiahs. Okay, that's interesting. Matt Barlow, he has a great voice. I saw him with Iced Earth. I think it was the first 70,000 Tons of Metal that I went on. He was still singing with Iced Earth at that point, and he's an amazing singer. I have listened to Ashes of Ares. Didn't really grab me, but again, Matt's a great singer, so I guess I would check it out if it comes out, when it comes out. Gene Simmons on upcoming Kiss event in Las Vegas, quote, "It's really a chance to be more intimate with the fans," unquote. I thought I saw another Blabbermouth thing where he was commenting on how they're not going to go back to touring regularly. I saw Kiss, when did I see them? 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when they came through Tampa. I like Kiss. I have friends that worship Kiss. I'm not one of those people. In my age, I grew up with Kiss. They were like one of the bands that got me into hard rock and heavy metal. But honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Kiss. Not enough to go and pay what's probably a large ticket price to go see them in Las Vegas. I mean, if I was already in Las Vegas doing something and they were playing, I might consider going to see it. It might be interesting. You know, maybe they play a smaller venue. Kiss is pretty good about mixing up their set list in those smaller settings. Like I've seen them at the Kiss conventions or whatever you call them. And they mix up the set list and everything. They're not afraid to pull out really obscure numbers from their past. So that's cool. So I don't know. Maybe they would do something kind of cool like that, where it's a really unique show and kind of in an intimate environment. That might be fun. I mean, I've said this on my channel, like these big bands, I don't need all the inflatables and all the fireworks and everything. I'd rather see them in an intimate venue playing deep cuts and stuff for the fans. Anthrax guitarist Scott Ian's Jackson guitar now available in new finish. Okay. I do play guitar. I'm more of a bass player, so I don't know. I guess that's cool. If you're into that, there's a new color for Scott Ian's Jackson guitar. Is that what it was, a Jackson guitar? Yeah, Jackson guitar. LA Guns Tracy Guns says, Metallica's James Hetfield has ended up being the bravest man in rock. I don't really know what he means by that. He was apparently on a podcast, Metal Dave Glesner, and he expressed his appreciation and respect for Metallica frontman James Hetfield. He said, I think James has ended up being the bravest man in rock because I've known James musically and personally from a distance, but when we see each other, it's like, whoa, what's up, bro? We're not good friends, but we respect each other. And they came to the very first LA Guns release party here. Those guys have been around LA Guns, and I've always liked Metallica. So I don't really know what he means by that, the bravest man in rock. I don't know. Maybe he explains it somewhere later in the interview. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I mean, James, yeah, Metallica has been around a long time. I know James has had some battles with alcohol and stuff like that. So anybody that has a career as successful and as long as them, you got to respect it. So, and I say this all the time, whether you like it or not, Metallica takes chances. They try different things. They try to do different things. So I respect them for that, even if sometimes it misses the mark. Dave Ellison says how a band splits its money. Its money is an important discussion for musicians to have early on. Says how a band splits its money is on. That's very bad grammar. I guess what he's saying is that money makes bands split up. I totally agree with that. I think a lot of times when you see artistic differences listed or some sort of vague thing, money, I mean, let's face it, in all aspects of life, right? You want to, people go to, I always say this to my kids, it's like, don't get involved between friends and money and things like that, because people kill, cheat, steal, lie, go to war over money. And why would it be any different in band situations? And I think guys get into bands and it starts off, it's one for all for one. And then the money starts rolling in, and then, how come he's getting paid more than me and stuff like that. For a really interesting take on that, read Dee Schneider's biography. I forget what it's called, but it's a fantastic read. And he talks about how, because he was the songwriter in the band, that he started getting more money because of the royalties, and that became a point of contention when the band broke and got big. It wasn't an issue early on, but yeah, when money starts rolling in and money changes bands and people. Chevelle released music video for Rabbit Hole. Don't really like that band. Don't care about that band. Steve Perry teams up with Willie Nelson for... Blabbermouth just crashed on me. That's another thing about Blabbermouth. There's so many pop-up ads and stuff. Steve Perry teams up with Willie Nelson for new version of Journey's Faithfully. Okay, that could be really, really cool. I mean, talk about two voices at different ends of the spectrum. Steve Perry, super high, airy, light voice. Willie Nelson, that sort of smoky, gravelly type of voice. So I don't know, maybe that could just be one of those odd couple pairings that you think, like, wow, how is this going to work? And then it turns out to work out really cool. I mean, Willie Nelson is awesome, so I'll listen to that. That sounds super interesting. Tearing Down the Orange Curtain, new book tells untold story of Orange County punk scene. Not really a punk fan, so that doesn't really interest me, but if you are, maybe you will like that. I'm jumping around here to some headlines that grab me. Behind the scenes book about making of This Is Spinal Tap and its upcoming sequel due in September. Isn't there supposed to be another Spinal Tap movie? Did that come out already? Did I somehow completely miss that? Or is it just like in the works or something? I can't believe it would have come out. People would have been talking about it. But a book about the making of the movie. That movie was fun. I remember my experience with that. I should just do a video on that movie. So I'm not... my experience, I saw that in the movie theater, and I didn't realize, this is before the internet, so I didn't realize they were a fake band. I mean, I picked up on it pretty quickly, but it made the experience all the more fun. So yeah, classic movie. Ricky Rocket says Poison got a great offer for headlining tour in 2026. It's in Bret Michaels' lap right now, he says. Okay, I wouldn't go to see Poison live. I went to see Night Ranger. They were opening up for Bret Michaels, and my wife and I just laughed after like 5 songs into Bret Michaels. I just couldn't do it. I kind of like the first Poison record for what it is, but I would never pay to see them live, and I'm sure that's a very expensive ticket. Man, what is going on with this Blabbermouth site here? It just keeps crashing on me. All right, if this keeps crashing, I may just bail on it. Maybe this is what was slow. I originally had this opened up on my computer. My camera seems to be working now. I bet you it's just this website. I wanted to read this last thing. I saw something. Sammy Hagar is happy about David Lee Roth's return to live stage. Everyone should enjoy what we're both trying to do. Yeah, I made a video about Dave's return to the stage. Not everybody agreed with me, but some people did. I think it's cool. I'm glad Diamond Dave is back out there, and I hope that he keeps doing it. I'm not really a huge Sammy fan, but yeah, good on Sammy, good on Dave. Glad they're out there. Hey, they were a big part of Van Halen, so they should go out there and be able to play that stuff. Also, Billy Sheehan will be working with a, quote, a lot of folks, unquote, on, quote, some records and possibly touring as well, unquote. I read that he was going to be playing with Peter Criss. That's interesting. That could be really interesting. Billy's a guy, amazing bass player that stays super busy. Motorhead shares official video recap of Lemmy's statue unveiling in his English birth town. Yeah, I saw about the statue. That's really cool. The statue looks really cool, too. Sometimes that can not go the right way with statues, but that's cool that they did that. I mean, you know, that'll certainly be a tourist thing if you're a metal fan and you're in that town. Yeah, that'd be really cool. It looks really cool. Lemmy, of course, he totally deserves that. Stryper's Christmas album should be completed by early July. I just did a video on To Hell with the Devil. Was it To Hell with the Devil? Yeah, it was To Hell with the Devil. And I think I'll pass on the Striper Christmas record. That's okay with me. I'm not really a big fan of Christmas music, unless it's like their own original Christmas music. That I might give a listen to. I did like Halford's Christmas album, so who knows? I don't know. Maybe Christmas time I might throw it on while we're, I don't know, decorating the tree or something. We'll see, but I'm not going to be on the edge of my seat waiting for that one. All right, Blabbermouth has crashed on me again. Thank you, Blabbermouth. Get rid of the millions of pop-up ads you have on your page. Let me know what you guys think of any of this latest metal news. You got any latest metal news as of May 14th, 2025? Let us know in the comments down below. Till we see you again, make sure you stay heavy, stay metal.